What is up, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Trainer Scoop podcast, where Hunter and I are giving our 2024 Olympia picks. Hunter, we struggled for 30 minutes through technical difficulties, and we still made it. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. We went through 3 apps, a bunch of different microphone tests, and not being able to see either person for a hot minute, but we got it.
We made it. First time I've ever really had technical difficulties with the podcast, so I guess I'll take it for what it is. I am currently, typically I would record with my laptop camera. I'm currently recording with the front-facing camera of my phone and then looping that through the actual streaming service. So we are going backdoor, but you know what they say about the backdoor, baby? It's the best door. So we're talking 2024 Olympia picks, of course, but want to catch up real quick with you, Hunter. I think we briefly talked about it the last time we chatted on maybe it was the Arnold predictions. You first started putting it out there that you're going to be opening up your own studio, and man, there's been some progress. There's been some floods. So update the people, bro. How's it going as the life of a studio owner?
It's good, man. Honestly, like those first, maybe month and a half, was just getting everything in place. So it was just like buying equipment. Because obviously when you move into a new space, like you want to make it your own. You don't want to have to, I guess, do things one step at a time and then like it just doesn't ever look the part. So the big thing that I was trying to initiate right away was make sure it's my own, make sure when people come in, like they know we mean business. It's not like some kid just started up his own little place. I'm here right now. I try to show you, but I'm not messing around with the camera after all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, man, it's been really good. Just like I said, getting everything in here, and now we're kind of at the point where I am starting to take on more clients and just continuing to build up that roster. But first little bit was hectic, to say the least.
Dude, I can only imagine, but congratulations, man. It's really exciting. I know it's got to feel good, right? Seeing it all come together, being your own boss, controlling the schedule. So,
yeah. Absolutely. Honestly, the biggest thing for me is like when I want to implement something, whether it's something training wise or marketing or whatever it may be, not having to go up like a chain of command and like get everything approved. And now, granted, that's a little bit scary because it's like if I screw it up, that's on me. But at the same time, it's nice to not have to wait weeks on end for an answer, and you can kind of just implement things right away. So I really love that.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we'll be checking in with you, and then if you're in Columbus, right, the Columbus area, where are they going to be finding you? Where can they get the stellar training?
Yeah, so it's Built by HL training facility. Website is just builtbyhl.com. You can always reach out to me through there, or if you want to follow me on Instagram at lifeofhl and reach out through there. I'm always more than happy to bring on some new clients. So.
Heck yeah. Go get with Hunter. So what is the equipment situation like right now? You were telling me about this a couple weeks back, but let the people know.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's a smaller space. Like it's not like I have some 20,000 square foot gym. And a good majority of my clients, it's not like I need super specific equipment for them. So for the main stuff, obviously I needed like a squat rack, dumbbells up to a decent weight. We have some squat boxes, deadlift bar, a couple of steps in here for like lunges and stuff like that. A couple TRXs, and then I took 2 of the cable stacks that you can get, but I got like the single ones. Mm-hmm. So if I want to, they have 2 arms on them, but I can have somebody do like single arm pull downs. I can have them do single arm push downs, or they connect and it can be double as well.
That's cool.
But when I set them up, I set one machine over here, and then probably about, I'd say 5 feet from the other one is the second machine. So if I only have one client in here, I can have them use that as like cable flies or stuff like that. So
Heck yeah, man. Hey, that's the basics. That's really all you need. I feel
mhm.
like that's what we originally connected on, was like the studio equipment stuff that I was doing when I was doing like videos about that back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you can even, like, what I did was like build out the belt squat and just like attach that into your squat rack. Get a fucking thick, I can't remember what it was, like 6x4 or 6x6,
Mhm.
like fucking post, and just drill through it. Get your belt squat going. Yeah, what else did I have? 45-degree back extension was super useful.
Mhm.
And then, like, yeah, like those combination pieces, you could eventually get like the leg extension, leg curl, hack squat, leg press combinations, stuff like that.
So what's really nice is the company that I got the squat rack from, they sell all the pieces that you could add on to it. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to turn it into like a chest press, if you have like jammer arms, you could get
Yeah.
those. They have like a standing hamstring curl that you can buy for it, stuff like that.
What
So I don't
company is
have
that?
any of that stuff yet, but it's like if you want to add to it, you can continue to do that.
What company is it?
I believe it's Bells of Steel.
Oh yeah, dude. They have like a big showroom here in Indianapolis, and if
Hmm.
you come, you can get like 20% off.
Yeah, so that was actually an option when I bought it. They were like, "Do you just want to come pick it up, or do you want it shipped to you?" And I was like, "I don't really want to drive." So
Bro, honestly, you should. It's like what, 3 hours, and you have a truck.
yeah, yeah,
Rent a trailer if you don't have a trailer. Could be a
yeah,
move.
yeah. I'll probably do that next time when I buy more stuff from them. But at the moment, I just had so much stuff going on here. I
Oh
was
yeah.
just it was funny though when I was getting stuff shipped here. The UPS guy was getting so sick of me. He
Oh
was
yeah.
just like, "Dude, what the hell? All this heavy shit this week," and I'm just like, "I'm sorry." Like,
Bro, when I was when I was living in New Jersey, I had like a package accidentally shipped to my old apartment complex. And they were
hmm
like, "Yeah, no worries, like we'll return it for you." But then I accidentally shipped the Elite FTS safety squat bar as well. And they were like, "Yeah, dude, like we got to straighten this out. Like we'll help you out, but like don't let that happen again." And
yeah,
I'm like, "For sure. Like this, I'm deleting this shit from my phone because I'm not trying to." And I got a hell of a deal on that safety squat bar, but I was like, "Whew, that could have been bad if I'd have lost that."
hmm You know what's crazy? The most expensive piece that I have in here is the bench that I bought, the adjustable bench.
Where'd you buy it from?
I bought it from a guy who he resells equipment here, but he also has new stuff as well. It's
What brand?
Diamond
Yeah,
Fitness.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Mike
good
Diamond.
dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's a Troy bench.
Yeah,
So
nice.
it's basically exactly like Rogue,
Yeah.
but honestly, the Rogue ones are probably more expensive, even more so
Rogue
than the.
Rogue adjustable benches new are like $800. It's
Yeah,
stupid.
this one was 500. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But,
worth it.
it'll last you.
It'll probably last longer than me.
Right. I got the I'm trying to think where I found this. It was in New Jersey. I found someone like 30 minutes away that was selling a Rogue flat bench. And it was like
Hmm
125 bucks. I was like, yeah, not bad. And then for the longest time, like when I moved into like an apartment in New Jersey, that was like my fucking coffee table by the couch. Like I didn't even have a coffee table. I was just like setting my breakfast down on the Rogue bench, or like setting a drink down there, using it as like a foot stand, and then I got tons of good training out of it. So yeah, that's exciting, man. I'm
Multi-purpose.
really happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good, good. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and crack a DC or a diet soda, not a diet Coke. I don't have diet Coke.
You
Oh,
tried the what was it? The Coke Oreo or whatever the hell.
I have, yeah.
What'd you think about that?
Um, I mean, I definitely think they like, or I definitely think they nailed the flavor, but I mean, I don't really like it that much. Like, I'd rather drink something else. But it does taste like an Oreo to me.
It was very strange.
I don't know why I got Diet Pepsi, but not bad. Not bad.
Solid choice. Solid choice.
So, Hunter, the topic at hand 2024, Mr. Olympia. every year I feel like the Olympia has been getting maybe even better and better. Like there
Hmm.
were some down years there for a minute, but really in the recent past, it has been very like very on point, very good, very competitive,
Hmm.
and some cool storylines going into it. You know, we have a returning champion. We have two returning champions.
Hmm.
One from last year, one from the year prior. Kind of a controversial pick that Derek Lunsford won. You got Hottie coming back and winning the Arnolds just handedly. The guy was
Hmm.
on a tear. So, what are some of the things you're most excited about for this 2024 Olympia?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of said it. It's extremely competitive, and I think for a while there, we went on like a run. Obviously, we're like Phil won it for 7 straight years or whatever it was, and it was just kind of like, okay, like who's going to be second?
Yeah,
Um, and then Sean Roden, rest in peace, he won it, and then Brandon, and then Rami. So we really, I mean, Rami won it 2 years in a row, but it wasn't like, I don't know, I wouldn't call that like a dynasty. It,
yeah,
just a back to back, which saying that sounds hysterical. I mean, number one bodybuilder in the world, not much, but
right.
so like we really haven't had somebody who like has cemented themselves as like the best in the world for years on end, which I think makes it awesome. And you have like so many of these young guys. You have like Nick Walker. I mean, obviously, I think he just turned 30. Like in bodybuilding age, that's super young. I mean,
Yeah,
most of these guys don't win their first Olympia until they're like 38, 40.
right.
Derek's super young. I don't even think he's 30 yet. I think he's like 28, 29, something like that. Um, Obviously, Hottie's a little bit older. You got new guys coming up like Martin. Um, Obviously, Rafa coming up as well. So it's just like there's so many guys, and there's so many guys that are getting better so much faster than what it seemed to be. It seemed to be like things were kind of stagnant for a little while, but
Hmm.
now it's kind of like, I've heard people say like any one of the top five could win it. And like as much as some people might think that's a stretch, it's like it's kind of true. It just kind of
Yeah,
depends on how the cards, get dealt.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, we've been hearing that a lot. The uh, the top five could go either way. Like, just depends on who brings the conditioning, who hits their peak correctly. And with that being said, I do think we have a great top five, but
Mm.
man, even 5 to 10 this year. Whereas
Oh
in
yeah.
years past, it's just like, yeah, like still impressive guys, but man, like, and I feel like maybe 2023 was a little challenging in
Yeah.
terms of placing those 5 to 10 spots, but this year it's just super challenging. So much talent, so many great physiques, some different physiques in those 5 to 10 ranges too. So it's not
Mm.
just like the one trick pony type of show. We got levels to this bitch.
Yeah. Well, it's like even if you take like if you told me like you told me William was going to be 6, I'd be like, okay. Like
Yeah,
you could make an argument for that. But if you told me William was going to be 10th, I'd be like, yeah, checks
yeah,
out. Like it, you have no idea. Like they're so interchangeable, and that's why it's so exciting. Because like I said, there isn't one guy that you're just like, yeah, that's the guy.
right. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be tough to pick these top 10 guys, but that's what I was thinking with some top 10 picks. Are you down for that?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, yeah, just talking about the Olympia a little bit more before we get into it. Like it's back in Las Vegas. That's where I feel like maybe it's just because we went out there, so I'm biased. But that's where I feel
Hmm.
like the Olympia should be is in Vegas. Like it just feels right. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be hype that it's back in Vegas. I'm excited for that. I think all the athletes are too. So yeah, I wish
Yeah.
we were out there again, man. That was a fun time.
I know. You know what really hurts too is like this is probably Chris Bumstead's last Olympia if you're looking at it
Mm-hmm.
like from a standpoint of why would he do anymore? And I really wish that we were out there for that, just to see that.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely cool to see Chris Bumstead, man. Like we only got to see the prejudging for Classic, of course, but yeah, like seeing it was really cool. And we were even far back, but it was cool to see it. So yeah, definitely excited for all those that get to go out. Jealous of you guys, and yeah, enjoy it because, like you said, it very well could be Chris's last Olympia. It could be a couple of guys' last Olympia. It could be Brandon. It could be Bonac. Never know. Trying to think. I don't really know of any other retirees.
Yeah. Isn't that so funny? Like, how old is Chris? Like 28, 29?
I think he just turned 30.
Yeah, so like he's 3 years older than me, and we're like, oh, he's retiring.
I mean, so there's a strong thought that he'll retire, but there's also like in my mind, there's why would he retire at the same time? Like you could say, oh, why would he do another one? Why would he retire? He does have the Chris Bumstead. If you want to talk about that real quick, he does have another level to him. But when you look at guys that retire, quote unquote, like have you seen Steve Cook's physique lately?
Not recently, but I know of
Let me
him.
pull this up. I promise we're not typically this ratchet at the Trainer Scoop podcast, guys. We're just having technical difficulties. You can see my fingers as I'm typing. Oh boy. So Steve Cook, right? Like he's been off. He still looks good, but like I think he really has lost his allure. Obviously, Steve Cook is still fucking huge. Obviously, Chris Bumstead is way more massive than from a not a physique perspective, but from an actual like influence perspective. Cbum will always be relevant, but will he have the same draw and pull and influence 3 years down the road when he's like running TRT? He's not fucking huge and slight, like shredded. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing I could say to kind of counter that is I think he doesn't want to be.
Right.
Like I think that's why he's making like all these business moves right now. I don't think he wants to be.
Right. Yeah. Definitely has enough money to retire. So at the end of the day, if you're set financially, you might as well. But at the same time, I'm like, hey man, you're 30. You have potential to become like dynasty level shit. He already does have a dynasty, but like I'm talking fuck you money. Like damn near billionaire. We'll see how it pans out.
They were talking about the other day. Obviously, he just became like a part owner of Gymshark, and let's just say he only got 3% of the company. Which honestly, I think he got more. But let's just say he only got 3. Gymshark is valued at like $1.1 billion.
Oh yeah, I mean the owner is worth $1 billion. He's a billionaire, so like the company's got to be doing well above that.
Yeah, so you break that down, and it's just like he's good.
A lot of money. Yeah. I'll be interested to see it, man. I think I'm less convinced than others that this will be his last year, but it very well could be. Like it likely could be. So
yeah. Well, the catch-22 with it too is like if he doesn't, he's just gonna keep winning.
Exactly.
Like nobody's gonna beat him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which, that's tough for Classic. If I mean, you would almost want to see a change in the guard at a certain point.
Yeah.
Just with like the way that the division could potentially evolve versus if it were to just stay with Chris for 5 more years, 6 more years. So, yeah, a lot of cool things going on, and I guess we'll only 100% know at the end of next weekend. But we are. What is it? So this is 9 days out.
I think so. Yeah.
8 days out if we're going from prejudging. So, yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I want to go ahead and share the competitor list. The competitor list here. We already know a couple of these guys are going to be out, so we'll go through it real quick. Derek Lunsford, obviously returning champ. Hottie, 2022 champ. Sampson, 3rd place and Arnold winner. Theo LaGuerre, I can't remember which show he won, but he's kind of like middle to back tier of the pack.
We lose you?
You can't hear me, can you?
I can now.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't hear you. Wait, say something.
Say something. I'm
There we
giving
go.
up on you.
Okay, cool. Well, now I'm on my actual computer, so that works out well. Awesome.
Perfect.
Dang, that's crazy. I can't believe it works now. All right, back to the. We'll cut that part. Rafael Brando, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, killer Arnold performance. Won the Arnold Brazil, which I guess we'll consider that as a prestigious show. Not really, but pretty cool.
Not what it used to be, but yeah.
Yeah. Martin Fitzwater, big up and coming name. Nick Walker, gosh, I can't. Nick Walker is so hard for me to place. That's going to be a struggle. Tonio withdrew. Akeem. People are saying he could be a dark horse. I don't really know. Do you have any thoughts there?
I don't have him in my top 10.
Yeah. I think Brandon's more likely to be a dark horse.
Yes.
Because we had Brandon last year with the flu or whatever happened to him, some type of illness.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, he was in the hospital the day before, and he still got fourth, which was like maybe a gift, but like, dude still was a baller. So
yeah,
we'll see. This might be his last Olympia. Same thing with Bonac, who, man, that's going to be very interesting to see how it pans out. You know, he came back really great this year, but he did like 3 or so shows. So like, man, it's a long time on your body to be having that kind of, I guess, stress from prepping and from the supplements and everything.
Yeah.
Baruz, not going to probably make it, so we won't even worry about that. Same thing with Nathan. Definitely won't make it. I think he said that.
Yeah.
John Jewett, man, super cool story with John Jewett. Came up from 212 and like definitely respect that he's got his own like science thing going, but he marries science and like hard work, classic bro stuff together so well. I don't think he's going to do super great, but like he's made some.
Yeah, this is his first time in the Open Olympia, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see a thing, I think it was like 2 days ago or something. He posted his last 212 show, like the day before or whatever, and then like what he's looking like now. Mm-hmm. He was 215, like 2 days out before the last 212 show. He's 237 right now in a year.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Man, he must have been sucking down so hard.
Yeah. He looks so miserable in the video. His face is just like dead. Whew.
That's crazy. Good for him. Mo Fuda. Man, Mo Fuda's got a really cool physique. Like,
looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, he's crazy. I mean, it'll be tough to see what he does this year. That's another one that's like probably going to surprise people, as well as John De La Rosa. I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true, but he's competed in the past like 2 years, but this is his first Olympia in 5 years. So to be able to come back after 5 years, he's won some pro shows in recent years. And made like a good good comeback. You love to see it, man. Yeah, Andrew Jacked. Oof. Any first initial thoughts about Andrew Jacked?
He's a freak. I saw him. I think it was when we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
And, just walking around, like not up close, but like
he's tall.
He's so tall. He's so wide. And, like, especially when you compare him to everybody else on stage except for maybe, like, Samson, like, he just looks like a freaking giant. Like, he makes them look like kids. And it's not because they're, like, less muscular, but he's just so big, like, stature-wise.
Right. Yeah, dude. I mean, he has the potential to really shake up this lineup, more so than anybody else, I think. So
I agree with that.
Yeah. Hunter Labrada, man, he was looking real promising. And then when he qualified, what was that, about a month ago at this point, 3 or 4 weeks ago? Wasn't the strongest showing. I will say, you don't have to peak 100%. Same thing with Nick Walker. You don't have to peak 100%. You only get so many perfect peaks.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to like push it to that extent or saying, yeah, so you don't necessarily have to peak 100% all the time. What are your thoughts on that? Because there's some people out there that are like, oh, like you should always be bringing your best. Like, why would you not? And then, there's the other perspective. It's like, if you don't have to, you don't have to. You can still win. Maybe what Nick Walker did in New York. What's your thoughts there?
I understand what they're trying to say, but I also don't necessarily agree that people come in and shoot for 85%.
Mm-hmm. You think they're always trying to get 100%?
I think they're trying to get close.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like there's certain stops, maybe like if you want to get technical with it, like certain, like maybe they won't go super harsh on like diuretics or something like that. If it's, the freaking Romania show or something like that. But I have to think that like it'd be like during a regular season game in the NFL to just be like, oh, like we should win, so I'm not gonna run super hard when I get the ball.
Right.
It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, it's something that I feel like a lot of the greats of any sport would never want to do, like a half-ass effort.
Right.
Yeah. And lastly, yeah, Hunter, I don't know. I'm not feeling too hot about Hunter. What do you think?
Could be better.
Right. Definitely. Same sentiment. Okay, so that leaves Bruno Santos. I mean, dude looks great. I think he'll still probably need a couple more Olympias under his belt. I think this is the first one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be a pretty strong competitor in some time. But I mean, yeah, great physique, but he'll probably be out of the top 10 for me. So
yeah, he just needs time.
Yep. Well, let's get to it. We'll start back from 10. Does that sound like a plan?
Start at 10 and then work our way up?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. You want to go first?
Let me pull up. I had like something I could type in. Let me get that up. There we go. Boom.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, kick us off.
All right.
I had to leave this here because it was being weird, but all right, we'll start at 10.
Cool. So in the 10 spot, I have William Bonnick, and
Okay.
I just think that he's extremely complete. Not quite as big as he used to be, but I still think he's going to be good enough to be in the top 10.
Definitely. William Bonac in 10th. I feel like that is definitely a safe pick there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're having all kinds of issues, Instagram and YouTube and whoever else is watching this elsewhere. Technology hates us. So I think Bonac in 10th, very safe pick, but I do have something slightly different there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have Fuda. I think that's how people are saying it. Foda. I don't know. Foda, whatever. I have him in 10th place. I think great. It's going to be a great debut show for him. Dude just looks freaky. So yeah, I think he'll be able to crack that top 10 with the physique that he's bringing. I don't know, man. He's just like you said, you got a cartoonish element to him. He just doesn't necessarily look real, but there's still space to refine. So I don't have him quite as high.
I agree with that.
What are we thinking for 9?
9, I have Raphael.
Yeah.
I want to put him higher just because of shape alone, because I just think he looks like what they're looking for, at least what they seem to be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like his Instagram pictures always just kind of do him dirty by making him look so damn good. Like I remember when he did the Arnold this year, and he got those pictures down in the basement of the pros
Oh,
gym. Like
yeah.
everybody looks nuts in that lighting, but he looked like he was, freaking Phil Heath, and he still looked really good at the Arnold, but I don't think he's quite as big as what Instagram makes him seem. So I still think he's got to put a little bit more meat on the backside, particularly in the hamstrings, and then just overall thickness to the back. And then I think once he does that, that'll allow him to come in a little bit tighter because he won't have to sacrifice as much. But coming
Yeah.
that far. So
Yeah, man. I'll be interested to see what he really looks like on tape because he has had a good bit of time to improve. I think he has made some improvements since we last saw him. The first time back to the Olympia since 2022. I've seen him since, so I think he's on to something. I'm thinking that'll continue, especially with the way they always say like Tyler likes his physique.
yeah.
He might carry some weight. I don't know. So in my number 9 spot, that's actually where I have William Bonac. I've been loving the fucking Bonac story, man. It really is going to be up to two things because he has had one heck of a comeback. I think he's like in his mid 40s ish,
Yeah.
43, something like that.
Yeah.
And man, the way he was able to come back after taking a year off is like that's a great way as you begin to exit your career. I think he's made like a great statement, and I think seeing him in the top 10 is going to happen with the crazy progress and physique that he made. It'll be a question of if his physique is tired, I feel like, because I think he persevered through the age. People always say like certain things start to go. I think he's still got it, but the tired thing in combination with the age, the tired physique because he's competed and peaked so many times. Granted, he's had some time off. I think that gives you some time to recoup, but I mean, like I said, you only get so many, so I'm thinking with 9.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah. In 8, and I hate to do this. I have Brandon. And I could have him as high as like 3rd, but like a lot of other people have said, we just haven't seen anything from him. And I don't think his physique is getting any better. And I think everybody else is getting better. And when you look at just the balance from top to bottom, I don't think he can really keep up with the rest of the, young guys, the new crop of guys, if you will. So I just think he's not super known for condition. I mean, he'll be in shape, but he's not super known for condition. And his lower body, especially compared to the guys that, we're going to be naming after this, it just doesn't quite stack up. So I have him in 8. But like I said, I could see him being extremely higher.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You kind of got me wanting to change, but I'm going to stick with what I originally put. I'm going to put Martin.
Okay.
In 8. It's a very convincing case for Brandon. I think that's honestly a realistic spot for him. I think Brandon's still going to have a great showing, but I think it is just time is ticking. Maybe this one will be his last one, or maybe if he does better than 8th or so.
Yeah, I mean he's another one. Isn't he like mid 40s?
Yeah, he's old. He's definitely old.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Arnold where Brandon beat Bonac?
Yes.
Weird kind of result there.
Yeah, it was close. It was pretty debatable.
I think maybe the judges just like something that like a lot of people don't pick up on. Maybe they have their reasons that we just don't have that same eye. But yeah, I mean I think that's why it's reasonable with all things considered. He'll outplace Bonac. Yeah. But I have Martin there because, man, Martin really did shock the bodybuilding world in New York, and it just seems like he's made improvements and progress since. Like, I really do think he's going to have a very strong showing. But with that being said, there's just so many talented bodybuilders that have size, that have experience, more, I'd say, around the physique and just like in bringing it all together for that day. I think where he'll have some learning lessons.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like physique wise, he could be higher.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Especially being his first one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So excited to see Martin's debut. I think he's got a lot going for him, and it'll be cool to see how that pans out.
For sure.
What are we thinking for 7?
7, I have Hunter. He's so tough to place for me because he doesn't have like a flaw where you're like, oh, his legs are too small.
Yeah.
His legs are huge. Oh, his arms are too small. His arms are huge. And it used to be like, oh, his back is, not quite where it needs to be. But honestly, at the last show, I thought his back looked great. Mm-hmm. So the only thing with Hunter is, one, they still haven't seemed to find his peak perfectly yet, or at least not recently. And then as good as he is, it almost looks like it doesn't fit together sometimes. And I don't know how to explain that. But I think it's the pec tear, and then like the way he crunches down on his abs kind of makes things look weird. Right. I know I saw the other day he was hitting the front double by doing a vacuum, and I think he should stick with that because it makes it look a lot better. But it's almost like the way he was hitting some of his front shots, it kind of just threw off the whole flow of the shot by crunching his abs down. Because it's like you got these giant arms, giant legs, and then like the midsection's not distended by any means. It's nice, but it's just not like defined like a perfect 6-pack or something like that. It's kind of muddied, is what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. I actually have Hunter in 7th as well because he's consistently placed pretty high. I think there is something to be said for that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, he has made a lot of progress, which is evident, and I feel like the judges just like to see that. But like you said, man, the arms and the legs, chest is decent. Arms and legs are fucking stacked, I think. It's great body parts, but the lack of flow to the physique and, a subpar midsection, I think he probably has one of the weaker midsections in this top 10.
Yeah. He's one of those people too. He's so big in person.
Yeah, dude.
And I think it's because he's so limb dominant that he looks like an action figure.
Yeah. Those arms are just stupid. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then his calves are like the size of my quads.
Hunter could be like right around here, or he could be like 10, man. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has much chance to go higher, but I do think he has a chance to go lower.
No, I agree.
Let's see here. 6, what you got?
This is where I have Martin.
Okay.
So I saw him in person in Detroit, and I thought he looked freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from the back. His hamstrings are extremely dug out when he gets lean.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could stick like a credit card in there and it would stay. It's not.
Right.
I think he gets really good condition, but it doesn't have the same hardness as maybe some of the guys that we're going to talk about next.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as lean and it's peaked perfectly most of the time, but it's not quite as like just rock solid granite. It's more of like I don't know, I would call it like fluff muscle.
Mm-hmm.
It hits when he hits a shot, but when he's standing there, it's not like just
Yeah, that's interesting. He does pop in those shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when he poses, it's there, but when he walks out, it's not quite as impressive as some of the other guys.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see why that would cause issues, but it's super freaky, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, I have to say, this is where and this might be a bit of a dream here, but this is where I have Brandon.
Okay.
I
That's
think,
not out of the question.
yeah, I think the dude is still. This is, if he brings it 100%. Hopefully, he doesn't have any of the health issues he had last year. Of course, that goes for everybody. But, I feel like we said earlier, he gets some favors from the judges from time to time. He's still going to bring a great physique. And while he is getting older, maybe we'll see some decline in his physique starting this year.
Mm-hmm.
Still got fourth last year, which is pretty freaking crazy to think about with last year's lineup. I think he's actually going to have a great showing, which is why he kind of knocks Rafael Brando out of my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super confident on Rafael. That being said, he might pop off and prove me wrong. But yeah, I think he gets knocked out for me. You got to knock some in this top 10. You have to knock someone out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Brandon stays for me and Rafael doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a controversial pick, but we shall see. So
no, I mean I agree. Like when I was writing these down, I was like, man, I look like a dumbass. I have Brandon dropping from 4th to 8th. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's also crazy for me to not have Rafael in here, but somebody's got to go.
Yeah, no, for sure. 5th, I have Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this one because I think you can make an argument that if Nick would have done the Olympia last year, that he might have won it. Especially like some of those pictures that came out after, like he just looked insane. But then you see the showing that he had in New York, and you're like, are we taking a bit of a step back here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another one that I'm like, this could totally bite me in the ass. But
right.
I mean, when you're talking about muscle, he's probably got the most on stage. Back double, you could argue that he's neck and neck with Derek in the back double. Side shots, you could argue he has the best side shots in the entire show. But when he goes to the front, it's difficult because of the front lat and the front relaxed. I don't even mind the front double just because his arms are so ridiculous. But the front double and the front relaxed really hurt him. So
yeah. I mean, I'll definitely be talking more about Nick here shortly. Nick's, it's been a tough couple of months, tough last year for him, really. I think that will, as much as it's underdog mentality is good, that can weigh on you. So I'm thinking it's going to have to be. I'm hoping he's really bringing everything because he needs to make this impact.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, because I actually have Samson in 5th.
Really?
Is that how you spell it? Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I do. I think I don't think he's gonna peak. I don't think he's gonna do it. I think they're gonna fuck it up. If he does hit it, then he could be like 2nd. But I don't know, man. I could be wrong, but this is a different ball game. And as much as I think working with his wife as the coach works, this will be the true test of if this new coaching relationship and the past emotional Samson that we've seen can really prove itself. We've seen Samson do some emotional things, and I'm wondering how he's handled the criticism, which, all things being said, he handedly won the show that he competed.
Yeah.
And, they did their thing and they did exactly what they probably needed to do. But with that being said, he received some criticism, and running the next peak could really work out in his favor. but to me, that's almost a coin toss. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
that being said, he's still got a insane physique, and I think even despite missing a peak or not 100% nailing it, we'll say I think he'll look great, but I think that knocks him down, and that will inform my fourth, which is flip flops with yours. But hit me with your fourth.
Andrew.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet because I don't think he's quite ready to beat those top 3 guys yet. Just from a standpoint of his side shots.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like I know they talk about like his hamstrings and glutes from the back, like he does a back double or back lat. But with how wide he is, I actually don't think it holds him back that much. I think it's more so he looks very straight up and down in his side shots, particularly the side chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you stand him next to some of those guys like Samson or Hadi or Derek, who are more compact, it's just going to look very, like I said, straight up and down and kind of, I don't want to say slim because he's like freaking 300 pounds on stage, but like comparatively slim. So
yeah. I mean that will be a big. What's the word I'm looking for? A big change or a big difference. There's like a contrast almost between the two.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another word that sounds better than contrast, but yeah, it's going to be a stark difference between the Hotties and Derek's versus the Andrews.
Yeah. Especially when they walk out, him being like 6'2" and them being like 5'6".
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna look interesting because I think the comparisons will heavily weigh those two.
Yeah.
They always say, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but they always say like the Olympia is a muscle contest. Like the big dudes get rewarded. And of course you can't say Andrew isn't massive because he is, but just like the denseness of Hottie and Derek and the width and density.
He's just more spread out. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's up there as well. But in fourth, I have a perfectly peaked 2021 Arnold Classic, Nick Walker. That's what I'm hoping to see up there. And if he can bring something like that, his best look in a few years, then I think he's gonna make that triumphant return. This is one that I really want to see, and I think going into New York, a lot of things weren't great for Nick, but he still beat a really impressive Martin Fitzwater while not looking his best. We were thinking about this. We were talking about this last year, but he like divorced his fucking fiance or whatever. Like had a weird time in his life. It seemed like he was making some interesting decisions. That stress can definitely get you.
Well, he moved from Florida to Vegas, back out to Florida. I mean, he was all over the place.
Well, yeah, and he lived with his parents for the prep for New York, and he said that wasn't the best situation. So between that, I think being back down in Florida with Matt Jansen seems like they're on better terms. Seems like he's super locked in. I think that's what's going to contribute to a good showing from Nick Walker. And man, like the guy doesn't have it like some of these other top bodybuilders. He just doesn't have the structure. Just not quite as pretty, but the amount of muscle this fucking guy has is shocking, and I think that will do enough for him to get fourth there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, we got third.
I literally just changed this 20 seconds ago.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Samson in third. I thought about having him win the whole thing, but I'm gonna put him in third. I can't trust that he's going to peak well.
Exactly.
I mean, realistically, if you look at him, like obviously his back's not as impressive as like a Hottie or a Derek or maybe even a Nick. But if you just look at like who is the most flawless bodybuilder on that stage, almost, it's him. Like he's got huge legs, he's got a huge chest, his arms are huge. His back is pretty good. I mean, just everything is like when you take a picture of it, it's like, oh, that's Mr. Olympia. But we don't know about his condition.
Yeah.
Like we don't know if they pushed hard for that show or if they didn't. We don't know if that was him like trying to dry out or not dry out, or if he just walked on stage after just, having a normal day. I don't know. So I can't trust that the peak is going to go well, so I have to put him in third.
Yeah. I mean, probably if I'm thinking about it, it probably will go well for him. Like it very well could, is what I mean to say.
Mm-hmm.
It probably won't, or I would have placed him higher. It very well could go very, very well for him, but he's so unreliable in these situations. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. In a perfect world, he wins. In a realistic world, he's probably not going to.
Right. But I understand that. Pick. Here I'm placing him. Andrew Jacked, third place. I think they're making moves for Andrew. I think the contrast in physique is something that is really going to draw eyes. So as much as they say they're judging what's there in front of them, I think the way that it could benefit bodybuilding and just the sheer talent, the sheer physique, the sheer incredibleness of this dude's look is enough that puts him in third. Like,
I think if they reward him like they could, it will start to be a little bit of a wave for the guys who maybe started in classic, but now they're just too big for it and they can't make weight anymore, but they still have that big X frame.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, look at him. Like he's, got a nice X frame. He's not, a little short and blocky. Like he looks more like a just blown out classic guy than he does, a little 5'6" bodybuilder. So I could see them definitely going that way.
Yeah. I think he's gonna nail it this year. I just have a good feeling that the work that they've done is gonna lead up to something that will pan out well for him.
I agree.
Same thing could be said. He could blow it, but I don't think he will. All righty, this is the big one here. This is what I'm curious to hear. Who we got?
I've gone back and forth with this because we saw Hottie at the Arnold.
Yeah.
And I thought that was his best look. I mean, obviously we were a good ways back, but you could tell like his waist was so like drawn in and much smaller than it was at the Olympia. And I thought that was super impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think Derek has had another year to get better, and he's young, and he's had a lot of he's just, I think he's progressing at a rate that everybody else isn't. So I have Hottie in second, and then Derek in first.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do too.
Mm-hmm. It's just a safe bet. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Derek's improved, man.
Yeah.
That the back is just nuts. I think it's better than Hottie. Like you can argue that there's maybe Hottie would win more shots, but I think, yeah, man, with the improvements that Derek has made with the back, with the midsection. Obviously, Hottie has another really strong midsection. That's why he's second. But like, Derek is just built different, and like you said, like he's had the whole year, whereas Hottie hasn't.
Yeah. So I think with Derek too, Hottie has a wow factor from a standpoint of like, holy shit, like that dude's hard as nails from the front. Like his abs are super deep, all that. Derek has a wow factor that when he walks out, he looks good. But as soon as he hits like a front double and everything just like pops and opens up, you're just like, shit. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do with that? And then when he turns around to the back, you're like, oh, Andy's got the best back and glutes and everything. Like, it's just ridiculous. And like, it sucks too, because like every time that I see, like, a Samson update or a Hottie update, I'm like, oh, they're gonna win. And then Derek posts an update, and I'm like, it's not even gonna be close.
Yeah, man. Derek's width, the sheer width is just shocking. Like it
Yeah,
is.
he's as wide as he is tall.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah, man. I gotta agree with you. I think there's gonna be some upset Middle Eastern fans this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, who knows? My whole list could have just set itself on fire, and Brandon could win the whole damn thing. I don't know.
Yeah. That would be wild. That would be wild. All right, dude. Well, I'm glad that we got the top 10 up. I think I'm going to post that on Instagram as well so people can really roast us. But yeah, dude. Any closing thoughts on the Olympia? Any thoughts that you'd like to impart on the people in general?
Not really. I'm sad I can't be there. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Looking forward to watching it. And
do we know how much the Olympia stream is going to be?
I don't know. I remember 2 years ago when we bought the finals. It was just like, ugh. Like I understand they got to make money, but it was yeah. And especially if you want to have somebody do it, have like Gilco or somebody, do a good job with it. But a lot of the times it's laggy and looks like we filmed it on something that you found in your grandparents' attic.
Wow, they really didn't drop the price. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Especially with how good the Arnold stream was for free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a shame. I don't know, man. I think they're missing there.
Yeah. I heard they were doing some shady shit with tickets this year, too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how much you can help that, but you can definitely set up measures to prevent it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have one buyer buying like 50 seats, like
you definitely got to put a cap on that.
Yeah, like or trace it. Maybe there will be a buyer, a large corporate sponsor that would buy 50 seats, but it's like, oh, that's our corporate sponsor. Not just some dude that's looking to sell them for 5 times the value, so he's making an insane profit.
Yeah. There's definitely some things that need to be fixed.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think with that being said, that's just an interesting way to close it. It was like it's going to be a hell of an Olympia, but I'm excited to see how over the next 3 years probably the Arnold, if it starts to gain that momentum like it might. I kind of feel like it might. Obviously, it doesn't attract the same level of talent, but who knows?
Yeah, especially with how they keep raising that prize money.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I think the Olympia is the better show. It probably will be for some time, but I don't know. Arnold's making moves, and I hope the Olympia can do better. But I'm not going to close it out on a sad note or a down note. The Olympia was really cool weekend to be out there. I hope everyone, maybe if you don't want to buy the live stream yourself, split it with some friends and have like a little party.
Much that for.
Yeah, it's always good to support the bodybuilding scene because if you don't, then it won't improve as much as it can over time. So either way, I'll be watching and buying the stream.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that can be said about like the Arnold getting better, it forces the Olympia to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just healthy competition. So I think we're only going to see better shows in the future, better production, better all that, and it's going to be exciting. For sure.
You know what they should do?
What's that?
Be like the trainer scoop and use a black background, baby.
Black. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you'd like to drop on the people before we let them go?
Not really, man. Just thanks for having me come along for the ride. I know we had some technical difficulties, but we always get it done.
We made it. That's for sure. Dude, super stoked for the studio. Really, everybody that needs training in Columbus, get with Hunter. He's going to take good care of you. He's got a good setup. It's valuable stuff. So
thank you.
Good luck with it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how it grows. Follow Hunter. He was definitely struggling to get this shit to work because usually I can line up everything, but like I said, StreamYard's been giving me fits. So his Instagram is at Life of HL. So go give him a follow if you don't already. While you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow as well if you don't follow. And then do all the YouTube things. We're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all that shit. Drop your top 10. Call us idiots in the comments below. If you want to debate, well, I get active in the comments, man. People be talking all kinds of shit on YouTube. I'll be active. So feel free to drop any of your predictions or thoughts below. And until next time, guys, peace.